Rio Grande to the South Coast. Hotel workers and man wear off boat. This a for the craft vendors, red cap porters and transportation at airport. Jamaica tourism pension plan, building towards the future. For tourism workers across the island, retirement benefits to contributions. Every worker in the industry, permanent self-employed contract. For your service you deserve security. Yes you do. Tourism workers pension plan, build a bright future. Yes you can. Tourism workers pension plan, workers invest through contributions. All tourism workers, age 18 to 59. Tourism workers pension plan.
Start making your contributions for a brighter future.
For further information, visit mot.gov.jm or call 876-920-4926-30.
What does a student in Augustown, St. Andrew have in common with a small business owner in St. Catherine? How about a farmer in Treadlight, Clarendon and a firefighter in St. James? Each has a unique story about how the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, has transformed their life for the better. For over 2 decades, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund has changed the lives of Jamaicans through its projects and programs. They've supported tourism and agriculture, expanded school spaces, and made safe paths for children to walk to school. JSIF has also improved community infrastructure, boosted small businesses, bolstered Jamaica's response to natural disasters, and so much more. With the help of their partners, JSIF continues its mission of investing for community development.
No man, watch the pile of rubbish in the public space. People nasty, you know? Hold on there.
Sandra, where you stop for?
Look here, me have to take a picture and send to NSWMA. You never hear about the app where you can use to report illegal dumping and littering?
Now what you say to me?
Yeah man, you can call them or download the app from the Apple or Google Play Store.
Well, me have to go download the app because enough littering me seeing at this town here.
Report littering or illegal dumping in public spaces to the National Solid Waste Management Authority. Call 876-448-3220 or download the NSWMA app to report illegal dumping and littering.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-Time Taxi Service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
One in. A hurricane we name. How we rough. Whether we are man hurricane or woman hurricane, we want you to know that we come up and mash up buildings, blow down things and just like flood out this. We no ram, we no respect no one, so no take no chance with we. Listen to Adprem and prepare. Hurricanes do happen, so be prepared. Yes, be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Veg & Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg & Printers, your best choice in printing.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats Best FM.
Welcome back to The Morning Connection.
Tell us your story, Papa.
Minette and Percival entertaining you for the morning.
Me not entertaining. Me not entertainment.
Well, I'm entertaining.
Before I go back to my story, I have to say congratulations to Eden, who has voiced her first national radio advertisement.
And she sounds very lovely. I was listening on Friday. That I have
Ooh!
And I listened to Orit on Friday. Orit is a real character,
yes,
though, you know.
He is. You enjoyed it?
Yes, I enjoyed Orit on Friday. Big up to Orit. I know he's listening to us this morning, but Orit, here's what Orit says. When, he was talking about the vaccine.
Please do it in the Bajan accent or Trini accent, whichever, or African accent.
Okay, maybe. Fine, you go and talk and let me see if we can pick it up.
You have to do Orit. You have to do Orit's accent in the morning.
Yes.
When Monty say good morning to you all, people.
Hey,
see, I can do it. He knows I listen.
So big up to Orit.
All right, you can talk in Jamaican. What did Orit say? That
no, Orit was making fun of his friends because he said he has some friends who now big and lawyers and doctors, and when vaccine come in, they encourage him to take vaccine. Him say, "No, take no vaccine." I say him now. Everybody who take vaccine catch COVID again, and him just laughing after them.
And he hasn't had COVID. Yes. Okay. You did good, close to the Eden laughing at you, but we'll punish her later. you came so close. Monty, you can score him. Let's see who did the better, Monty.
I like him.
Yeah, I love him. I did a guest stint on his program one morning, just to test my sea legs, see if I could, and we had fun. And we've promised to do something together. So, Monty, I have not forgotten. But you are the expert, so it's you supposed to guide me. And the producer said he could join us on a Thursday.
Yes.
But, oh, God, to drag Monty out early in the morning twice for the week, he'd have to really love us. All right, let's see how much he loves us. Back to my story.
The Prime Minister.
But I'm gonna put it in a context because I'm not a Prime Minister basher, especially since we shook hands on Thursday.
Oh, God. You never tell me that. Oh, I'm gonna speak in our tongues. Hey,
we shook hands on Thursday, and I certainly not gonna bash him. And the producer said certain things you will not speak about coming out of. We went there on Thursday because we had to observe all the things, the sanitation protocols and so on. And I was watching how certain things went down. And so some things are off limits for me to talk about on air. But to put it in context, in today's paper, this is today's paper? Yes, Monday, right. Reverend Ronald Thwaites, attorney at law and former government minister and
Minister of Education,
deep man in politics, MP as well, has an article. His contribution is titled "Confusions We Live By."
So that's in the context of what the Prime Minister said. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
And in it, he laments the willful opportunism of government that give with one hand and take back with another, and some things we have been living with for a long time, including the Queen. He chastises Dr. Chang about the policy, the strategy of using the states of emergency and then scraping up the young men and violating their rights. And the friars that they scrape up and violating their rights. And of course, he has spoken for a long time about the poor structure education, the quality of education, the administration of education, and so on. A lot of times I say of Reverend Thwaites that I'm not paying too much mind to what he says because he was there for a very long time.
No, he wasn't there for a long time.
And what? He wasn't there for a long time? He was an MP for many years.
No, he was an MP, but but MP not have power, Ministers have power.
Listen, MP have power.
You don't think so?
All of them.
You don't think so? That's my personal thing.
Anyway, please don't distract me too quickly. With those red herrings.
A red herring, you call it.
Yes.
MPs not really have power.
The fact is, he has been a part of government, sitting in Parliament for a long time. And none of these issues are new. They have only got worse over time. So I tend to be a little impatient with persons who have been there, who know the challenges, the hardships, who have had their opportunity, and then they come out and they do the critique as if to say it is easy and could have been done, and I
like the word it easy and could have been done.
Yeah.
Which tell you the challenges that
there are real challenges.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. But because we constantly talk about repentance being a critical part of transforming and making the change for better, I always check what a man is saying and put it against his admission of fault, his acts of repentance, and the unity that he seeks to foster once he has made the change. A lot of persons are stuck at critiquing. They are not admitting they were ever at fault or responsible. They show no intention or take no steps that look like acts of repentance.
Truth or
that-
reconciliation.
no truth or reconciliation occurs. So you hear them saying all the things that you yourself saying too, but you don't see them
lot of
doing
Jamaicans
one
are
mea
saying,
culpa. No, I am guilty. No, it's my fault. No, let me fix it. You don't see them finding people and making the way straight. So I listened to the Prime Minister is now in. Everybody knows that Mr. Black has had a strong political affiliation with the PNP, right? And now he's doing a massive project in the Mandeville area, which is currently under JLP rule because the MP
The whole parish wing.
is the whole thing went green. And so the Prime Minister.
No, it's not. No. Oh, Mandeville went
Mandeville
green.
went
but
green.
Manchester is still
Yeah.
red where Mikel is.
Will you stop with the red herrings? Michael was there too. Let me follow that one.
The red herring.
The red herring. I follow that one. Michael Phillips was there too. So the Prime Minister speaks, but I felt like he was speaking directly to me for the first 10 minutes.
Why?
Because he said things like, some people say that only certain people can do well in Jamaica. Some people say all the things we talk about, the two Jamaicas and the inequities which are apparent in how resources are distributed, in opportunities that people get. The carousel story is very well known. And although I was at the back of the room, I felt like, man, a drop word for me. So
good word or bad. When he can preach and he can drop
no,
word.
because after he said, some people say that, he said it is not true. He says if you have your money and you want to invest, and he knocked the podium, he's the man. Bring it. Come on. This government, this administration will support you. And he spoke about local investors and so on and so forth.
So
all
about
very
you.
uplifting. Huh?
Not about you.
Well, I took it as a clear message and a sign that I must dust off my papers and get back into the ring because the Prime Minister is ready for me.
Okay. All right.
That's how I took it. Why is the producer laughing?
Hey! Go on, talk. Finish.
I don't like that. Oh, no, off air I will tell you how we met and what we said to each other.
Okay.
But suffice it to say, we
So
met.
I'm ready for you.
He's ready. I think he's
I'm going to
ready.
give back your money
So
so you
now
can-
it is only, now we're talking about acts of repentance now.
So I'm going to give you back your money.
Because thank you for bringing me back on track. Having said that, the next step then would be to see the acts of repentance.
Thank you, Mark.
To be honest with you, Percival, I took it as a very positive sign from him that he didn't run away from acknowledging who I was.
Okay.
He said, this lady shook my hand vigorously, shook the producer's hand too. They almost hugged.
You get back your money. At that time, I asked you, that is
Well,
like
it
Zacchaeus.
was only on Thursday, you know.
But, so that means we
those
are good
kind
news.
of checks
So that
take
mean that,
big time to write.
That means say, me and your friend.
Oh Lord! See now it has become a joke. Prime Minister or anyone listening, please redeem me because it has become a joke. I have faith. I have faith and confidence that his words were not empty.
We have faith in you.
You have faith in me? Yes. All right. Well, cleave to my faith.
Hey!
I believe
Is
that
your
the
faith in
words
God?
were not empty. In fact, when we left the location, we had several conversations about it because the Prime Minister is not an ordinary Jamaican in the sense
He's a
that
chief amongst ministers.
there you go. So his words have weight. They ought to have weight. And if I find that they don't have weight, I shall be praying for them to have weight.
Oh, my dear.
But the fact of the matter is, he's no ordinary Jamaican. He's not like when you meet up your friend by the bar and the friend said to you, no, man, everything going all right.
I'd rather believe that, friend.
Oh, you have little faith.
No, but I'm having faith for you because it's
Yeah.
what? So how many years now?
Oh,
3-4 years?
Which one of the struggles?
No, the struggle.
2016. The carousel one is from 2016.
Some children have gone to college and graduated.
Yes.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Marriages have been made and failed already. People get divorced and forget one another.
Yeah, but no, okay, all right. So that
But we
was
are
a high
people of
point for
faith.
you. That was a high point for you. in
No,
terms
it's
of
a
what you
different
said.
high point, but that was
In
a
terms of the
significant
5
event.
minutes, you felt he was speaking to you.
Oh, 10 minutes. I'm going to let you listen to it. I
Okay.
recorded it because the words he said were the right words. They were the right words.
Bring forth
And I
fruit
said it to
meat
him.
of repentance.
And I said it to him. I said, your words had meaning to me.
Okay, all right.
Um,
So we are
yes.
praying. We are
Yeah.
okay.
Still, I said we had some conversations now afterwards, and I was saying, do you remember when the Prime Minister cried in church?
Yes.
Right. And I, on air, said to you, I said that I took it as a very good sign that there is a heart and a conscience, that there was some movement. And because we had been praying for the hearts of our leaders to be touched by the plight of the people,
And we still continue to
I
pray.
said that it was. And then some unkind people says, when pressure reached stone, it produced water.
It does?
Well, they didn't say stone, but
But the little
they
lady
said,
online
they
who
said
called.
pressure. People said pressure squeeze out moisture.
Oh, it does.
That's how stone is made from dirt.
Okay, all right.
Mm.
Somebody said pressure bust pipe.
Some
That's
pe-
why rain fall.
And there you go. So some persons saw it in another way, but I was in my secret heart
Heart of
because of
hearts.
what we've been praying about, and all of it. Listen, from 2016, I've been praying for my prime minister, and in particular, I've been praying about the leadership of this country. From the time I saw, from the day the Americans threatened to take visas and to be punitive towards Jamaicans because of business that we were conducting in Jamaica, and my government did not stand up and say, hell no, let my people go. From the time that happened, I began to pray for the nation in a particular way, because I know that our sovereignty, the protection of our sovereign rights, depends on having men and women of character, men and women of strength in places of power.
Men and women of integrity.
Of integrity, so that they could hold the course. See, we were terrified about what's happening with WHO and this
56.
thing.
I sent it to you. Where people are and 50 nations, including the big ones, China, Iran. Some said no, we're not making this pass. So it was shut down. I sent it to you.
I did not read it.
You didn't read it?
No,
Yeah, it was shut
but-
down. 50 nations said, no, take this on now.
Not for my people.
Not for my people. So
Oh my gosh, how did you not tell me, and you knew that that was my
I sent it to
my
you.
prediction? No, not send it to me. I get 1,000 things. Tell me.
When I send you things, I don't send you a whole heap of stuff.
You
But
send me whole heap of things.
No, that's not true. How much
Pastor, I'm
email
gonna
is-
go to. I'm gonna go
to the chat.
to. Oh, it's email. You sent it by email.
Yeah, man.
Oh no, I get too many emails.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anything you want me to see right away, you need to send it on our personal line that we have between us.
Okay, then I
The
will do that.
last time you sent me anything was the educational videos for lovely Terry Salmon, whom I hope to meet again very soon. Yard Empire.
Okay, sorry. So I'll send
That's
it
the
to-
last thing you sent me, May 25th.
No, I sent you email. I found your email and things.
No.
So, okay, but they voted
I
50
missed it.
nations and we're
I
not taking
missed
this
it.
on.
I told you it would happen.
Yeah, so they said no, we're not into this right now.
All right, so that is well, you do need men and women with backbone who can say no to things that are too intrusive, too gone cross the line. I mean, for example, we have Jamaica getting all excited like a kid in a candy store that this tourism season is gonna be great and that things are looking up roses. And then the CDC issues a travel advisory about Jamaica being a place where it's not for sunshine and good time on the beach, it's for COVID. So, conversations have to be had. And I don't know, the Summit of the Americas starts today, is it?
Today, yeah.
It starts, and CARICOM was taking a particular line. I just got to update myself on whether we held the course or if Jamaican one gone, with Cuba and Nicaragua and Venezuela being on the outside, because the Biden administration has held their position that they're not sitting in the room with those people.
But, I find that so strange. They're not sitting with Venezuela and Cuba, but yet they're begging Venezuela for oil. How does that work?
Well, they've floated the idea of wanting oil. What they did instead was renew the Chevron. You know, Chevron in the U.S. is a Venezuelan company or whatever, partnership. So they've renewed the license for Chevron to continue to operate, and so they will get product through Chevron. But in terms of returning to government trade, that's not. I don't know if Venezuela said no, and there were some other things too with the Summit of the Americas. The opposition leader wants to bring his own delegation.
With that the
And
guy
apparently
who they had
America,
accepted.
yes, Juan Guaido, and apparently America is warm to that. So, it is obviously a principle. They are obviously manipulating and seeking to intervene in the domestic politics through how they handle these international arrangements. And Jamaica need to step up and say, hell no. But if we don't have people of quality who can do so and hold the course and speak about it, not just do it privately in a back room, but speak about it the way Dr. Gonzalez of St. Vincent is speaking about it, we won't be well served. Yeah. Then comes the issue which we touched on last week, Miss Kamina Johnson.
How is that going? Anything has come to the fore?
Well, I think the lady needs now to say something, because the question of the funding, the financing of her campaign, all the people of high moral character have said Jamaica need to know how this campaign is being funded, because she's traveling, she's taking time off of government duties and of various things. And really,
somebody asked a question about the Africa and the 8 nations that you went through.
In yesterday's Gleaner, the apparently Sunday Gleaner posed a set of questions to government, and they just repeat them to show that the government is not paying them any mind. And the questions which have been put to government by the Gleaner, who is seeking to maintain their position as, a newspaper of substance. Those questions, I'm going to tell you the questions. And I would say to Miss Johnson Smith that she should be the one to speak and don't let it get pulled out in some horrible way. Along the same lines, we talk about integrity, wanting to do the right thing, whatever the cost. You be the one to speak on these matters. This week's questions for the Minister of Foreign Affairs and for the Minister with responsibility for information. First question, how is Senator Kamina Johnson Smith's campaign for Secretary General of the Commonwealth being funded? First question.
What is the cost?
2, what is the budgeted total cost of the campaign and the source of funding? 3, who is her campaign manager? 4, does she believe she has the support to win? 5, if she wins, what will be the length of her tenure? 6, if she wins, what are the plans re her government duties?
I can answer the question number 6.
What is number 6? What are her plans? Government duties?
They're going to appoint her, if she wins, they're going to appoint her
a new minister.
And somebody's going to leapfrog the person who's there now to take it up.
So, who's there now?
Who's the Minister of State?
Yes.
Senator Campbell.
Okay, so more likely than not, someone will, Senator Campbell won't be promoted. They'll put someone over him. Okay. Right, that is an obvious then. If she wins, what will be the length of her tenure? Well, that's known too, because
It's
it
one
is
term
usually,
or
well,
2 terms.
she has broken the tradition of the 2 term, so it's open season.
She becomes open season.
It's open
Same
season.
knife, stick dog, stick sheep.
Yes,
goat, stick
so
sheep.
she may end up just getting 2 years.
I thought it was a 4-year thing. It's 2 years.
Well, that's the whole part of the upset, is that
It's only 2 years.
she has 2 years left to go in her term,
Okay.
and they want to do they're doing like a midterm election.
Oh.
So I guess it's 4 years, and you get 2 terms, so it's usually 8
years, yeah.
and she is midway her term. Does she believe she has the support to win? Who is her campaign manager? Well, questions 1 to 3 are the big ones.
Yeah, the money thing.
The money thing, and for a number of reasons.
We ain't got no money.
Everyone is celebrating the possibility of a Jamaican being in that seat because of what it will mean in terms of access to resources and influence and power. That is as of much interest to a country as it is to big businessmen, private sector entities. Her husband is known to be in construction. That is considered big business. If it is being privately funded, most people suspect it is being publicly funded. But the truth is, we should not be moving on suspicion.
Need to just come out and declare.
They should come out and declare.
Transparency.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Gleaner says, as we seek to get answers on issues of national importance each week, the Gleaner will be publishing questions posed to government ministries and agencies that have remained unanswered for quite some time. As servants of the people,
it's a long time they might ask a question.
yes, the government is accountable to the public. These are matters for which the public has a right to know the details. And the truth of it is, we shouldn't be clamoring to know the details. They should be volunteered at the earliest possible time so that we're not left either doubtful of the answers we get, or it creates, it take up more time than it really should. But having posed those questions, the paper then, they went on, same yesterday's edition of the Gleaner, to talk about how both Prime Minister Holness and Leader of the Opposition Golding are linked to non-profits that are not in good standing. The overall summation is that this untidiness in their affairs has the effect of undermining the respect for rule of law. There are many.
So which one is Positive Jamaica is Wholeness?
Wholeness, Prime Minister.
And which one is Golding?
Golding is, in fact, this one was occupied my thoughts a little bit because, Golding's father, Sir John Golding, had set up the Mona Rehab Foundation, and his son is a trustee of the Sir John Golding Fund, which is a UK-based fund, and he's responsible for Mona Rehab. Now, I don't know what he was supposed to do about that one. I mean, things are done elsewhere, of course, but he's also a member of a Greater Trenchtown Foundation, which was set up 4 years ago but has not commenced operations. So he set up a foundation in his constituency, which is, I think the shameful part is that his constituency foundation is not in operation. And the breach is they have not filed the relevant accounts. So all this thing too, even when they terrorize company like Carousel about possible connection to money laundering because of who is on bank accounts and so on. In government, it is well known that clarity and full disclosure concerning financial matters is a part of the anti-money laundering protocols. So when you have not-for-profits that are non-compliant, it is not just a breach of an administrative procedure. It also opens the door to some bigger things. But let's take our 7:30 break at 7:32. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening. Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi style?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, at 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Yeah, try calling her, cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
What a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best
Yes, Pastor Percival, it is true what you said. We're trawling the Sunday paper because those issues that speak to integrity and touch on the trust factor or the low trust factor that exists between citizens and government leaders, including the bureaucrats and so on. DCP Bailey is in Sunday's paper saying they had to act now with respect to a gun and ammunition seizure which took place on the Edward Seaga Highway. When these kinds of things happen, we give it its proper name so they know it is not the PJ Patterson Highway. I'm joking. Yeah, I'm joking. Well, it is noteworthy that a lot of the shootings are taking place on the north-south, which gives you an idea of the flow, the direction in which these activities are moving. From Kingston into, I guess, to the west is probably where they're headed. Though you could go to the west, going deeper south into St. Elizabeth on the other highway. But a lot of things are happening on that corridor. And DCP Bailey is saying they took advantage of some information and moved quickly. The police took swift action and they recovered ammunition and firearms. And Percy says that some people are saying that they didn't pay the right people. The criminals never pay the right people. That's how come somebody blew. I'm hoping that it is a whistleblower. And then the producer reminding me now of the ones who crashed. Heard that spot checker go on somewhere, made a U-turn, and fell into grave danger. And the police.
When I put them chase?
No, there was no chasing. They turned hastily, crashing into a tour bus.
Oh, that's so nobody was chasing them.
No one was chasing them, but the devil.
Not the devil. The angels of the Lord was chasing them. I said, "Oh, now get to it today."
Crash into a tour bus. Well, then they would have just crashed into, an embankment or something. As it is, a passenger in the other vehicle was injured, I think. The three died. Is three?
Yeah,
or
three.
two of them? They died. Guns and so were found in the vehicle, and a passenger was injured in the tour bus.
Wow. I'm trying. I saw an article. I don't know if I sent it to you. It was a survey that was done in LACAC countries, Latin America
Mhm.
and Caribbean, in regards to corruption and how people see their.
This is an American survey.
Yeah, American survey. Is American? No, just out of England, I think.
Foreign survey.
Yeah. In terms of person's
Anyway,
attitude. No,
they're the
no.
ones surveying us
Yeah,
anyway. So
a person's attitude, and they found amongst all of those countries that Jamaica ranked lowest in terms of how people saw the political system and the trust in it, that were very low. Well, that comes as no
surprise
to us because we
Mhm.
see it in terms of how people turn out in terms of elections and so on, and if it is valid for them to participate. It was very interesting reading, but not surprising to me when I read it in terms of what's happening. Yeah.
You know, I my reaction to those studies and reports conflicted would be the short
Way of saying it.
summary. Yes, because many times if you study yourself, you lack the objectivity to sometimes see the truth.
True.
And so it does make sense that you have an outsider conduct a study. But I think it is one thing if I commission someone to make an assessment of what's happening in my country and we set the parameters and so on, I certainly would have a great deal more confidence in its results than if these institutions that are for their own agenda, oftentimes it is to reinforce the notion that we are unable to manage ourselves, that we are less than in some critical areas of nationhood, sovereignty, and ability. Sometimes when these institutions conduct their study and put out their findings, I just begin to treat it like neocolonial propaganda. Not to say, I'm just stating my position because I asked you who did the study. It's very important who writes a report about you, because the man writing the report sometimes has a very definite interest in the outcome. Sometimes he wants to come and fix you. He's positioning himself to get money to come and fix you. And a lot of times there are some motives that we ourselves have to be very careful about it.
And I agree with you in terms of that. But for whatever it's worth, there is some merit in the information, because they were not only looking at Jamaica, but the whole region in terms of how people saw their political governance systems and
Yes.
what needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
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 But you're right in terms of we're trying to set a research question. You
Yes.
set the research question. See, you're seeking to find out something. You have a
Are
notion.
these people the worst?
Yes, you understand. Yeah.
You're looking for confirmation of some unworthy thought that you have. Before we go into the 8 o'clock break, the last big issue that I want us to raise for discussion is this condition of homelessness that afflicts 20% of Jamaicans. That is what the estimate says. The reason I call it homelessness is because if you don't live in a place that to which you have any right, you're homeless.
That's what you mean.
Yes, we talk about squatters, we say squatters, but the truth is squatters are homeless people because we define it as illegal occupation of land or building. It don't belong to you. So at any time you can be told to move along. You know, like when they...
But you can move along with a concrete structure. You can't stay there.
Yes, but I mean, the whole idea is that you're going to get a notice that tell you to move along. No, sir.
Yeah, but some of these communities that I know.
The residents of Sandy Park, for example, are in the news.
Yeah, because I remember, this is an actual thing. This young man from a school that I've been affiliated with, different schools. So he reaches out to me, as I was then a parent rep, and says, need instrument, how can you help? Mother very, very interested. So I say, okay, I'll bring it for you. And so she's directed me where I need to go. Oh, Lord. You see the young man come to school, but you would never know
where he's coming from.
But I said, me brave, because I guess I'd go anywhere.
You're on the coverage, man.
So I went. And then she said, okay, I'll come out to meet you. I said, no, we need to come to see where you live. Right? On the Gully Bank. The Gully side, that's where she was. But she was determined to make sure whatever was happening, her son would not get lost. And I salute those people because a lot of our students come from those circumstances. And if you don't know where they live, you would never know the situations of neglect or situations that they come from in regards to this.
Where is Sandy Park?
It's on, Sandy Park.
Is it in the back of Ligani?
Oprah outside, yeah.
Okay, because my first apartment was on Ligani Avenue, and there was a gully that ran the back of it, and that is the Sandy Park Gully.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sandy Park. Okay. All right. So the Sandy Park residents are in the news because the government has made a move to regularize informal settlements. Did you know that there is a unit in the Prime Minister's office that deals with, let me tell you the name of the unit because I don't know that I could.
It's there in the paper, man.
I know, but how you could call any unit, what are you saying? Squatter management unit.
Yeah, imagine the squatter then.
But that is what you say, what's in a name? That name need to change. Well, I want to speak to my new friend, the Prime Minister. I want to speak to my new friend, the Prime Minister. The first order of the day is to rename that unit. Squatter management unit?
But you see,
they want to manage squatters? That is the designation. Anyway, we'll talk about that during the 8 o'clock break. I just want to say that
Poverty alleviation unit.
that is not a good name for a unit. I'm telling you. I would not tell anybody that I work in the squatter management unit. Never.
But I would do it.
You would tell them I would work in it. But that's not what I would change the name.
You change the name. Your
Yes.
first order of business.
Let me
to
tell you,
change the
the
name.
first order of business would be to change the name, and I'm very serious about it. Here's why. How you name a thing. We say identify
in
the
a
demon
name.
and call it by its name.
Everything
so
is
you
in a
can
name.
cramp and paralyze it. I cramp and paralyze that name. The name needs to be aspirational,
Yeah.
and it needs to lend dignity both to the persons whose business you are taking
Like
care
you have
of
pride.
and
Like you have
those
pride.
who work in it.
Like
Which one?
pride. Pride was inspirational.
I don't know that pride was aspirational. What did it mean?
It was an acronym, but
I know. The only thing good about the acronym is the word.
Poverty. I don't know. We can't go back. and
Reduction, initiative,
Google.
drive.
Something like that.
No, eradication.
Yeah.
No, anyway, in on a serious note though, the report here says that Jamaica has over 700
Such community.
informal settlements across the island. This unit, squatter management unit, in the Prime Minister's office has identified over 700 such informal settlements. And that is a smear, that is a shame, that tells you what it seems to mean is that the number has been growing.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we were emancipated from the slave master's yard, free towns were established.
What they call them, yeah, free
Yes.
town. Mhm.
And from those free towns, you should have had now just an ever expanding number of settled communities where persons had firm and secure ownership of land.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't happen. Did not happen. More and more persons are being displaced through poverty, lack of opportunities in different places, civil unrest in the communities, and they are setting up dwellings wherever they can find a place to catch. And because they are so marginalized, they are looking for the most. It's not that they don't want to go and have a hillside view and a nice. It's because they are choosing places that they think nobody wants.
And nobody will interfere with
And
them.
people won't interfere with them. That's what they're doing. It's not because they don't have sense and don't want to live in a good place. It's because those good spots, you have to pay big money to get them, and many of them are already taken. I watched the Jamaica producers here on TV, seeming quite proud to announce that people who had occupied, is it 10,000 acres of land in St. Mary's side, who have now got titles, and the people were celebrating it. He was sounding, quite the champion that finally the people had been released. The people should have never been in that situation. And then Dr. Norman Dunn, very passionately encouraged others who had land on which persons had settled to get into partnership with communities and citizens and do the same thing. I was proud to hear him speak in that way.
So that is where in St. Mary that is.
I can find it when we take the break, but this is Banana Land or whatever was
that
Jamaica producer would have got probably out of the United Fruit Company.
Okay.
Coming right, the colonial lineage is pure in relation to those lands. Those lands, the people should have just take it.
It should have been given to them, like you said.
It should have been.
Yeah.
And talking about they wanted to have community. They needed like the community to be in partnership to maintain certain standards and so on and so forth.
But there's one thing with Jamaicans,
We're house proud.
Yeah, house
Yes.
proud, and we take care of the little land we have. If you
Yeah.
go overseas, like in England, you know where the Jamaicans live.
Yeah, man. Anywhere you go, you can.
You can
see
tell where
that
Jamaicans
how
live
they
because
are
of
proud
what
of our homes.
because of what land means to them. Because if you have been dispossessed of
And so
land,
it is in Sandy Park. They're saying there are concrete structures are there, some more posh than others.
Yeah, me see.
Finished and unfinished. Dot the landscape in Sandy Park. But it's not a planned development. The people are there, but they're obviously not getting the best. And even in this picture that they have, you can see, you can see that people are putting serious money into creating homes and businesses, because anywhere people live, business gonna spring up there somehow. Some of the residents are saying that they pay property tax, and they've been paying property tax for years, and they have their titles, and they are of course resisting the designation of the area as a squatter's land.
but it's kind of interesting. I wonder if Sandy Park was one of the communities, because I'm going back to 2004.
Yes.
And it was saying 10,239 titles have been issued under Operation Pride since its inception in 1995. And they say they had provided 13,010 plan solutions and regularized 113 informal
settlements
island-wide. I wonder if Sandy Park was one of those, because if the people have
some have titles, yes.
It means that is not a squatter thing. But
listen, even if persons have titles, but the development has been unchecked and is an environmental hazard, and people are living in risky situation, it still requires regulation. So there's, and that's why I wouldn't have called it squatters. No place that people are living in an unplanned environment should be just designated or given that kind of designation, and you begin to look at it through the lens of just rank illegality. Even in communities where persons have clear title to land, but there are situations that are hazardous environmentally, those areas require the same attention.
I'm in agreement to do. So the question is, what do we do as government? What do we do as leadership in terms of governance to make sure that everybody is doing the right thing?
Well, my plan, Percival, the very first week that, you remember I brought the book, If I Ran the Zoo, Dr. Zeus book. I still have it. I can pull out a manifesto at any time. If I ran the zoo, my first order of business on every occasion is to get down on the ground and talk to people, because you know that we have to build relationship. There are some things that you'll be doing concurrently, but big first order of business. Get out there in communities. No place is too small. The prime minister or whatever position I occupy is going to do a people tour, not a constituency tour or a people tour. I am going to get to know my people, and my people will get to know me no matter what it takes. If me have to do it every weekend, if me have to be on every little community radio station, whatever it is, people are going to get to know me for the first 100 days, let's say. And we're going to talk through the things that are of importance. You have to do that in order to turn the tide and shift how people see things, how they relate to their government, how they relate to leadership. That is not something that you would be doing every season.
No, but you do.
But you have to start with it to say, new sheriff in town.
It's not only new sheriff in town. If you are leading a people, you have to know where their mindset is.
Yeah. And they have to know where yours is.
And they need to understand the vision that you have. Because this thing of communication and getting buy-in from people that you lead, it might be difficult, but it's something that needs to be done because you are keeping your hand on the pulse of what people are saying. And I am confident that Jamaican people are intelligent enough, sensible enough to know what is good for them.
So you'll vote for me?
We never say around.
Well, yeah. Sounds like a campaign manager. But no, in all seriousness, it is necessary at this time for us to have that kind of intimacy with our leaders. You're not going to need it all the time, and it won't happen, every day. But let's go back to where we take our main template. We take our main template from roughly 3 million people hustling out of Egypt with all of them goods and pan and the jewels that the very generous Egyptians gave them.
To them at that point in time.
They, for all intents and purposes, were worse than squatters.
Yeah, because they never have no place.
They had no place. They were going to live in tents and move as the pillar of cloud or fire led them
they
from
went down
their
to
night.
Egypt, and after 430 years, they came
coming out
yeah.
with their long hand. Well,
they never came out with
land-wise. They didn't. Land-wise, they had no land because you can't carry it.
Yes.
Because they had Goshen. But they came out with just their goods. Like so many of us just have the clothes on our backs and the children that God give us. And they're heading out with whatever they had. If it can move, they carried it. And every time that Moses had to deal with them, me always wonder how that worked. All of the Israelites then come and stand up to take their instructions. They had interaction of a very intimate, direct sort in those early days.
They did. And people said...
It took a while before...
We can't imagine you talking to...
Listen to me, because you know I am a crazy dramatist. I just imagine Moses stand up there and him say, thou shalt not... And somebody say, what him say? And it get passed on down
the line.
Which is why they end up doing so much crazy things. Because everybody heard something different. No, man, but...
Chinese telephone,
yeah.
But
the Israeli telephone.
Yes. No, but somebody was relating how he went to Africa, and he's an American going to Africa, but his friend was African. They traveled a couple of days thing, and by the time he reached the village that they were going to, which was his ancestral village, he was amazed at the amount of people that were there. Somehow, they have a system.
They knew he was coming.
By communication.
Yes.
And when he came, he was saying, no, man.
Still works.
It still works.
Wireless.
Wireless.
But the point is, there is a time in the life and the development of a country where a certain level of intimacy is needed in order to communicate, lay the foundation for the relationship, and be sure that you are at the right place together. After that now, you can get to and as it did with Moses, then you got to the 72 and the leaders of the clans and the whatever. Government began to emerge when the complexity of things had sort of risen to the top. So you now needed a structure for resolving disputes and so on and so forth, creating laws, managing what people are going on with. The fact of the matter is, Jamaica has never had that opportunity to bond with its leaders, its own leaders. We came out of slavery. The magistrates, I wouldn't even use the word magistrate in Jamaica. I mean, I had to do a sugar thing and I studied the history of the magistrates. The magistrates came here to be the whip for the plantation man who could no longer beat the slave because the slave is free. So your master can't beat and kick you as he used to. He hired someone to do it. And when the master and the slave have a confusion and it end up before the magistrate did what the master would have normally done because nobody's mindset had shifted to really respect the independence of the black man. So even when Brownstown Courthouse burned down, I was one person who said, time enough, because it's one of those old buildings. And I know that it is expensive and costly to say, we're just going to create our own and start from scratch. But you know what? We've had 60 years to make the transition, and we've not done it slowly and incrementally in any good way. So maybe we just need to say, draw the line, build afresh. The point I'm making, aside from those radical ideas, is that we never did get the chance to learn who we are in our new state of independence. And we got handed over from one group to the next. So you come out of slavery, they create their own transition system to help you to adjust to being a free man. And then the queen says, all right, take them off the budget, but she left her structure in place. And we have been nursing the same structure for 60 years. Come on, man, it's tired and it popped down.
As you close it.
And we never did give people land.
No, but this is what he said. He says, but I'm not a squatter.
Say that again.
I am not a squatter, according to George Kennedy. And he showed him the paper. I'm not a squatter. I'm not a squatter. I am not a squatter. But a declaration and him have the papers to prove it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm watching that one.
Yeah,
because how we deal with it, and when we say that we have government in place who care about the people and who want to do something right for the people, you got to put your money where your mouth is.
And as we go into the break, on a happy note, there's a fire downtown.
Happy note fire?
No, there was a fire downtown.
I know what you're celebrating.
A rain start fall.
And people celebrate.
You want to the lady. I say,
yes,
hallelujah. I could have seen she saying that over the thing.
I know that you're hoping she's saying hallelujah.
Yeah, man. Look at when rain falling, I'm running.
All right, let's take a break. Please remember, when we get back, we're going to open the lines. And the numbers to call are 619-1508 or 279-8473. This is The Morning Connection with Minette and Percival. So please stay with us. We're going to be right back.
That's so classic.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. MPs from Britain's governing Conservative Party will hold a vote later today on whether to remove the Prime Minister Boris Johnson from office. He's been under attack for a number of reasons, including parties at Downing Street during COVID lockdowns, which led to his being fined by the police. Following the announcement, the government's anti-corruption champion, the MP John Penrose, said he was resigning. Speaking to the BBC at a noisy Parliament Square, he said it was unacceptable that the Prime Minister had broken the rules.
I think that the problem is that a breach of the ministerial code isn't something that goes away. It isn't something which people will just shrug and move on from. And so whether or not I say anything, the fact that there's been a breach of the ministerial code, it's quite clear that there has been, isn't something which others will be willing to overlook.
The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, says North Korea could be preparing to carry out another nuclear test. The last was in 2017. Bethany Bell reports from Vienna.
IAEA nuclear inspectors have not been permitted to visit North Korea since they were kicked out in 2009, but they continue to monitor the country's nuclear program from a distance. Mr. Grossi said they'd seen signs that a tunnel had been reopened at North Korea's test site at Pangnyeori, possibly in preparation for a nuclear test. 4 years ago, North Korea said it had closed the site. Mr. Grossi said a test would contravene UN Security Council resolutions and be a cause for serious concern. He also noted that building work to expand North Korea's main nuclear facility at Yongbyon was advancing.
Fire officials in Bangladesh have accused the operator of a container depot hit by a deadly fire on Sunday of failing to store chemicals safely. 10 firefighters were among at least 40 people killed in the blaze. Steve Jackson reports.
The fire department in the city of Chittagong says it has never before lost so many firefighters in a single incident, and it's blaming the operators of the container depot. Fire officials say containers of hydrogen peroxide at the site were not correctly labelled, with the result that firefighters doused the flames with water instead of foam, causing the blaze to flare up dramatically. Government officials have also suggested that the disaster could have been avoided if the fire teams had known about the chemicals. There's been no comment from the firm that operated the depot. Hundreds of people were injured in the blaze or are still listed as missing.
The UN climate change chief has appealed for the world to use efforts to tackle global warming as a way to create unity between nations at a time of conflict. Patricia Espinosa was speaking as negotiators from almost 200 countries meet in Bonn to prepare for the next UN COP27 meeting. News from the BBC. Ukraine's military intelligence chief says its forces have succeeded in ousting Russian forces from some parts of the eastern city of Severodonetsk, despite what he called a tenfold advantage in Russian artillery. Major General Kirilo Budanov described the city in the Donbass as the hottest area of conflict in Ukraine. Russian forces are also shelling the nearby city of Slovyansk. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says it was unprecedented that several European countries refused to allow his plane to fly through their airspace to Serbia for talks. He blamed what he called puppeteers in Brussels, who he said did not want to give Russia a platform. Bulgaria, North Macedonia and Montenegro all refused entry to Mr. Lavrov's plane. The authorities in southwest Nigeria have confirmed that the number of dead from Sunday's attack on a Catholic church in Ondo State was 21. The state governor's office said the attackers had exploded dynamite inside the church before opening fire through the windows. An Iraqi court has sentenced a British man to 15 years in jail for smuggling artifacts out of the country. The lawyer for Jim Fitton had argued his client had no criminal intent. Volker Waldmann, a German national who had also been accused of smuggling, was acquitted. Mike Thompson reports.
Jim Fitton was arrested at Baghdad airport with 12 fragments of pottery and other shards, believed to be more than 200 years old, in his luggage. He insisted he'd collected them as souvenirs during a group tourism expedition to the ancient Mesopotamian site of Eridu. The judge accepted that German national Volker Waldmann, who was with him on the tour, had no criminal intent, but ruled that Mr. Fitton, a retired geologist, knew what he was doing. His family has accused the British government of doing too little to help him.
Mike Thompson, and that's the BBC News.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi style?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
Wow, you big star. Yeah, man, respect my boss.
I try and call cause trust me.
Waiters Auto Spares and Repairs, good afternoon.
Ah, what a relief.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Welcome back to the Morning Connection. For some reason, I hadn't been paying close attention to the live chat, and a lot of things were being said which are hilarious and supportive. And first, let me deal with my good friend out of Toronto. Good morning, Conrad. Boy, Conrad, we burn fire the whole day. In fact, fires are still being burnt as I speak. But you know how it is. And to the man who says shake with one hand, and yes, we've been there, we've had the handshake and the knife stab when you pull away. They didn't even stab us in the back. I think it was in the belly. Stabbed in the gut. We certainly have felt the two-facedness of government, and oh my God. But as Percival was saying, and this is early days after the handshake, we want to see the acts of repentance. If you must have heard the laughter in the studio, because I'm probably the only one who maintain a certain attitude of hopefulness that the actual persons who did the deed are going to repent and made to do the right thing. But very insightful comments from those online who have been following what we've been saying. Mandeville as a city, Earl Brown says, what would change in Mandeville if it becomes a city? I never quite understand when citizens of a town are clamoring for the town to be designated, because it's not as if we have anything in our governance structure that creates some special incentives or rights if you are a city. I mean, really, I'm not sure what it is that citizens have in mind when they clamor for it. But yes, people were saying Mandeville should be a city. And it just as with Portmore, not quite sure what it is, because I would imagine that you would first need to build your infrastructure for the comfort and well-being of the residents before you talk about anything else. And if those things are in place, what does it matter if all your name is Mandeville? I mean, I don't quite understand this designation of city status and what is imagined. Suffice it to say, the Prime Minister felt that all kinds of things needed to be in place first. So that was a short conversation. Still, the mayor, who was pointing to water supply issues, road congestion issues, and so on, those are legitimate issues of concern, whether you are a city or you're just a little suburban town.
Yeah, and some of our towns just sprang up.
Yes, like Sandy Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earl Brown has asked what is peculiar about the number of teachers' deaths. Two things are peculiar. One, the number of them for one profession.
Sudden.
Happening, and they're sudden, and they're happening in a very, short space of time. So it rises to the level of being peculiar.
And in just saying that, our condolences go to the staff of Excelsior Primary School, where my 3 children went to school. We condolences to the staff there on the passing of Miss Pinnock, who for many years served as the vice principal of Excelsior.
So what age group person was she? Because we have to make
she
it
was
clear
in
that
her 60s.
these are not octogenarians who are doing what is natural and expected. These are persons between, some late 30s, early 40s, and 60.
Mm-hmm.
Who are just kind of almost said dropping like flies. We have spoken about what is happening when you see those kinds of events. There's some very spiritual conclusions that you can draw, and then there are some things that you need to do. So even with regards to the Prime Minister shaking my hand and speaking certain words, there are things for him to do.
There are things that he can do, things that he has the power to do, because he's the chief amongst ministers.
But for his words to have meaning, there are things for him to do.
That's why I'm agreement with that.
Oh, well, you said can do.
You said can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not can it, and can is doing something.
To do. All right. So, yeah, many people have shaken my hand, shook my hand, said words. My fires are always burning, Conrad. I want you to know that. That is how I survive. The flame cannot die. And Earl Brown has asked us to play a tune by Frank Sinatra, Pick Yourself Up. All right, let's open the lines, please. To recap, as you are getting yourself ready to call.
You know, said, shoot the power said.
Oh, yes. Oh, did I miss that? Oh, did I miss that one? Truthborough says, Minette, when the Prime Minister shook your hand, did you feel like Jesus sitting at the dining table with Mr. Iscariot?
Truthborough. These people are out there, you know.
To describe the moment, I was surprised because even with COVID, handshakes, especially with COVID, handshakes are not the order of the day. And I didn't initiate the handshake, and I suppose it's instinctive for a politician to stick out his hand. But I was surprised that that's a sufficient commentary. I'm giving him 5 days.
You have 2 calls on the line. Welcome, caller.
I'm giving him 5 days before I say any more.
Yeah, good morning, Pastor.
Good morning.
Good morning. So how you do?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes, Ross. What's up today?
Good morning to all the listeners. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good morning to the producer and the engineer. Yeah, Miss Leonard.
Yes.
Yeah, did you get a chance to ask the Prime Minister about constitutional change?
I did not ask the Prime Minister a single thing.
It's in a minute, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a minute.
No, I wasn't interviewing him. I was not interviewing him, by the way. I was a guest at an event at which he spoke, and I had the opportunity, serendipitously, one would say, to be in his presence. But that interaction was more of a personal nature because of who I am. And he acknowledged me in that context. Even though I was wearing my Best FM shirt, he acknowledged me in that context.
Yeah, because sometimes as a journalist, sometimes you can just chip in a little.
Oh, I wasn't on duty.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, man, I wasn't.
Remember, is the Prime Minister.
That is true, but I was not there as a journalist. As making that clear. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because what is happening is that there's various prime ministers, administration, work under the same constitution where people telling you what you want to hear. At the moment, I remember when I go to school, I used to play cricket. And my coach always telling me, whenever time you're playing a spin bowler, you go forward, kill the spin, and do what you want to do with the ball. When you're playing a fast bowler, you have to step back because the ball is coming at you and you have to adjust. So, what I found out with these leaders are prime minister.
Yes.
They tend to do what they can on the occasion by telling people what they want to tell them. Like seeing what them know, say, well then, a little thing that go down with you, so them tell you something sweet and something nice and everything. But in a little touch what you get constitutional change prime minister.
But,
your name and
all right, so hear me now, my brother. Hear me on that subject now. We have the right and the duty to proceed with the work that needs to be done on the ground so we can be ready for that change. We don't need his permission, and we don't even need, that's not even something that to be spoken to the Prime Minister about, because no answer, but no answer he gives is relevant to what we need to do. And you raised such an important point there. A lot of times we spend a lot of times trying to get the wrongdoers to acknowledge and to ratify or to confirm or whatever it is we think their own words will add to the debate. When the truth of the matter is, somebody write on it here, is a distraction is like somebody said, when things going down, they're sending the clown to distract the people. Honestly, some of it is a distraction. I mean, about the most that I got from that interaction is to share it in this forum because it happened. And for persons to know too that these things will happen and make absolutely no difference. You still have to pick yourself up and do what needs to be done. But you see someone like me now, you say something in my presence that sound like you mean to do business. The next thing me I do, I present you with business.
True.
That's how I move. Yeah.
I saw where Mr. Mackenzie
that's Desmond Mackenzie.
Name himself building the infirmary building that in built and them build up downtown.
Yes, he put his name on it.
Yeah,
but that man don't mean himself any good.
Sometimes
Are you serious? Really... No, you serious? Or you just had a dream? You wake up, you go to bed and you dream something, man. Yeah.
No, I heard it over the news. They wouldn't put it on news.
Desmond Mackenzie Infirmary.
The Desmond Mackenzie Infirmary.
Yeah, them use it as a record,
Yes.
But them use the news are like a record, when you hear some little waste record, play till when you look, all your kids them are singing.
Yes,
so it gets so they won't put it on news.
Yeah, so yes, you're right. It is wrong of anybody. Mr. Mackenzie himself protested when a certain mayor or somebody down in Westmoreland, the man's name was being touted for some building that was there, the parish council. So for him to even allow that to have happened, even if they forced it on him, he should have resisted it. Not only that, he has gone and prophesied himself into an impoverished death in an infirmary.
You see, the problem, Pastor, I never see so much as a pastor lament and the thing that this man with the Milo and the gentleman where same one something. I never see so much street people before, in my life in Jamaica, So it means that people can't pay them rent, people now meet them deeds, people now meet them financial
obligations.
And for you to come now and build a poorhouse or an infirmary and I put it by then, so you really cherish them things that you want, cherish poor people just live. Before you say, well, then, all right, we have a look some place for them people.
Yeah.
Some of the sugar land. Because if we can build some affordable.
Yeah, man, it is time for an initiative like that. It obviously, especially now that the PM has a unit in his office that Earl Brown has suggested that they should call it the placement or repatriation unit. We have another call on the line, Ras. So you want to wrap up for me, please, my brother? You're our first caller, so we don't want to.
Yeah, man. So you want to know?
Yes.
Bonafide, our thing is constitutional reform and change, rewrite. That's my thing, because we can go 60 more years.
No, man, that is already spoken. It's only for us now to. I think the people are going to need to start the consultations on the street and let the government play catch up. Let me take the other call and you can call us back because we still have some ways to go. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Greetings and salutations to you both.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes, this morning I want to make a short speech about,
I love how you put it. Launch into your speech.
Yeah, I want to talk about our indebtedness and some other things. Yeah. I must say, up we mighty race, we will accomplish what we will. Up we mighty race, we will remove this system from off our backs, the PNP and the JLP. All right. I would say about last year I spoke to Mr. Jerry Small. I called him and I spoke to him about they are planning to sell the alligator pond, the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the news. 37 acres is sold by the government there.
Mm-hmm.
So they are investors.
Mm-hmm.
In the near future, all beaches that fishermen and local people use in Jamaica will be sold to foreigners. The next beach that they're targeting to sell is Hellshaw and Port Royal. They are planning to remove every citizen from Port Royal. They're trying to do it, but I don't know, maybe because Philip Paul is there, it's a struggle, but they want to make Port Royal into what you call it now?
An attraction?
A cruise shipping port for Kingston. You see?
When you say they, talk to me now.
It does that already, you know.
The establishment, the government, and their private sector interest. They are planning to do these things. The reason being why they have to be selling off Jamaica's assets. I'm gonna tell you why. Jamaica owes over $2 trillion in debt. And the debt that Jamaica has cannot be repaid. Every month it expands. It's just getting bigger, right? It cannot be paid back. So what the government from PNP is doing and JP now, they have to be letting off their assets to settle debts. So the land, every asset that Jamaicans have, they have to be letting it off in order to settle some of their debt, you know. So now, the only thing you leave maybe is Water Commission and the people. That's just the people left to be sold, you know. So the only way we're gonna get better is to come together, Rasta, Christian, everybody, run as councillor candidates, MPs. We don't have to be affiliated with the party. We can run as, I would say, independent candidates. And remove the system. No good will come from PNP and JLP in Jamaica. There will be no good come from them. We have to unite.
Agreed about the unity point. And I understand what you're saying concerning the divestment of assets and how it is being approached. But I think this now is a moment for citizens to get involved in the decision making and the planning that affects their communities, their neighborhood. It really is a call for those who put themselves forward in political offices to take a certain line in making sure that the people are not left behind. I know you said down with PNP and JLP, but whether it is PNP, JLP, or UIC, or just a citizen with an interest, we have to get out there and make sure that people are being sensitive to what is going on. So thanks for shining a light on those issues. I appreciate it.
Okay. Have a good day. Yeah.
You too, my brother. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning, madam. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Morning, sir. Welcome.
Yes, morning, Papa. Hope you're all right.
Yeah, man, we're good.
Yeah, well, when we hear about this politics thing, you really have to stop and think. Stop and because it look like moving in a circle. Now, what I want to know now is this competitive politics thing.
Yes.
How is it aligned with development? Because it got to the point where miss me, me can't understand how competition going to lead to development. The part right there not clear in my head. Because we are doing things now for 60 odd years. Huh?
Yes.
And we can't see how the poor people are going to benefit out of this scheme. Can you imagine now? You have over 700 shantytown, as you say in the earlier news. Some small settlement and so on.
700 of them.
No. That information now is like them want to use that now for more separate the people.
Yep.
Because when I look on it is like that information, them should not act on that quick and start out the thing that the people them can get to them want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you start to call people squatters, we're going to talk about the word squatting. That should be taken out of the dictionary for Jamaican citizens and thrown aside. There are no squatters in Jamaica. People in Jamaica need land. Everybody should have got land. It never happened in time. Do it now. There should be no delay, no confusion. You're so right. When they talk about these 700 informal settlements,
as they call
they describe them also as being hotbeds of violence and all kinds of depraved behavior. So you and I know, who are living with our title, with the name on it, we begin to feel that is our neighbor who no have no land, who is causing confusion and chaos in the community. And it is far from true. I mean, it is true that crime and violence flare up in those areas, but the honest truth for Jamaica,
most Jamaicans,
is that crime and violence is funded from those well-established, high-quality communities that feed off the people who are just become pawns, cannon fodder.
Yeah, man. And the true thing that, because if you move to Kingston, if you move to Kingston, to reach up the ice stem,
yes,
you have to pass through Grand Pen.
Yep.
To reach the next place, you have to pass through the next place. So now, it make it look a way like so the people mix up.
Yeah.
And that is not good.
It's not good.
Because you know the whole way meet up in the high school, you know.
Because Pastor was talking about the youngster from a good school that when him got to see where the man is living, where the child is living with his mother, it is all of us meet up in school, and we meet up in the workplace, and we meet up on the buses, and we meet up at various places where when we are there, nothing about us would betray where we sleep or where we cut our first teeth or whatever it is that is, about the neighborhood where we come from. The amount of people we meet who say their mother helper are used to sell in the market or very, very ordinary occupations from which their education was funded and they rise to positions of excellence. And then we here have office in the Prime Minister's place that named Squatters Management Unit.
Madness.
Oh, boy.
It
is. It's very derogatory. And I tell you, it is also racist if anybody never think about it. When you consider what squatting is, which is the position you occupy on the ground if you're relieving your body or you're making a fire or you're doing various things, that is what squatting is. Or what the chicken do to sit down over her eggs. That is squatting. And when you call people squatter, you're saying that this is the occupation. This is how you're defining them.
Yeah, but you know how me look on it now, my sister. Me look on it now like it's a trap thing. Because these are the same people now when it comes on to the election. Becomes a big problem.
Yeah.
Because them now, the leading people now run go to the state and push out some sugar, push out some...
Right, because they feel they're easily bought.
Yeah, and then the whole thing gets hot.
Yeah.
Because we say some long time and we see the thing. So
constant cycle.
Now, just like what Mr. Q the other day, I don't think that this thing will work. The competitive politics
doesn't work. It does not work.
Has not worked.
It don't line up with national development.
No,
it don't line up.
It doesn't
work.
Yeah.
It don't work. Competitive politics thing, somehow the bigger head them to go call a conference and work it out. Because people, they are sorry. You have the big party them, the Democrats and the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
You look at England, them have them next thing and them next thing. But those things never come over fly by night.
True.
No, they're hundreds of years old with some deep principle and experience behind it so that it can make a difference. Yeah. My brother, we've blown past the 8:32. We're at 8:32 now. Can you stay with us or we need to take Thank you. All right. Just hold on then. We're taking the break.
Bless.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Warning, when there is a hurricane warning, button down, tie down, everything. Lift appliances and furniture off the ground and secure your valuable items. If you wanna boat, secure it on land and turn on your yard if you a fisherman. Make sure you turn off every breaker, and before you sleep, turn off your generator. Flooding, that is a real danger. If you live a gully bank, river bank, or low line area, if you see flood waters are rising, get out! Heed the warning. If your land starts slipping and sliding, get out! Heed the warning. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-8935. That's 276-8935.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veg Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veg Printers, your best choice in printing.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best FM.
Welcome back. Continue, my caller. We have someone else on hold, so we want to be efficient.
Yes, let it done. Just to touch exactly what I want to say, because it's the same politics.
Go ahead, man.
I cannot see how competitive politics will lead to sustained national development. That is my position. Because it's the bigger heads them say this is development. Then when the politician come here,
all right,
he only comes to confuse the thing. So when you have to know to wrap it up, you only have to know that the bigger heads them must come together and deal with the thing and move out this competitive politics out of national development, because it's not working. It don't work for poor people, it don't work for poor nations. Thank you very much, my people.
All right, thanks for your contribution. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Welcome. All right. This idea of competitive politics, the truth is, any system of governance or government needs checks and balances, which can be built into the system. So within government, you have, committees and officers that keep it in check. But also, the opposition is an important part of the equation, and that's the part that is called competitive. There are structures that are working around the world, mostly in the republics, that allow you to impose those checks and balances. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning, Miss Minute. What go on?
I am well, African. How are you?
Morning, sir. How are you?
Give thanks for it, you know. A reverend give thanks to you know.
Yeah, man. God is good.
Every time.
What's on your mind this morning, African?
So this 70% of people them call squatters. Who make them in a squatters?
20%. They say roughly 20%, and it's 700 communities. Well, is we me say we because I may separate myself from this one. Is the government giving them the designation as squatters? There are no squatters.
Miss Minette, who make them in a squatters, Miss Minette?
Give me your answer. Give me your answer, African. How you see it?
Miss Minette,
I tell you, there are no squatters. It's the government calling them right, but they're not squatters.
Yes. Who make them in a squatters, Miss Minette?
They are not squatters, my brother, because a man call you an unpleasant name don't mean that's what you are.
So they might try and make we in a squatters then.
What they're going to do is be punitive in treating with persons who are living in places that may fall under a particular type of regulation. So we have to look at the kind of regulation to see whether it is really about environmental safety and address it as such.
Miss Minette, the PNP and the GLP reduce the people them lifestyle, you know.
Yeah, the lead.
The PNP and the GLP take out them own the land them, you know. You know how much land one politician own in Jamaica?
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't. Which politician are we talking about now?
All of the PNP and the GLP them.
So you're saying that political leaders have been taking people land and putting it in their personal names?
One politician own 3,000 acre land, you know.
But
Miss Minette, the whole of it there, you know, Miss Minette, I'm see what going on, you know.
How does a politician get 3,000 acres of land that he didn't own going into politics?
We never won not even 1 acre. And then they come now and call the people them squatter. And them are the boss to the squatter them. The House of Parliament, them politicians, them are the squatter, you know. All of them are the House of Parliament, them are the squatter, Miss Minette. And them are squat, them are how much money they make over the world right now. We can't pay over. And them do that, you know.
But you know, African, it come back to the fact that we keep voting them in.
We?
You don't vote.
When I
say we, I mean we live in a country that is democratic and chooses its leadership through a system of general elections. And we've been conducting general elections now from in the 60s, and we are constantly voting in for people that disappoint us. Those among us who could do better don't step forward. Whatever process there is to keep them in check, we don't exercise it. And what I'm really saying to you is that if a majority of Jamaicans feel a certain way about a thing, it is done. It is done.
You know, it's a democratic system questionable now.
Well, remember now, you know, you have democracy in terms of how governments are elected through consensus of the people. And you have you have democracy as the part where the people need to participate and make their opinions and their positions known. I do not see where Jamaicans are doing that. Even in the election gone by, 21% of the people came out. So how are we going to get, so how are we going to get the majority of the people who feel the way that you feel about a thing? How are you going to get them to express that view and make that view count?
You know,
and we can't blame JLP and PNP for people not showing up, because if people don't like what JLP and PNP doing, people must step up.
Miss Minette,
yes.
You know, all it is for Mr. Patrick to nominate him new party.
It is hard. What did he have to go through? Because he has done it.
Why you ask him about where I forgot to nominate the party?
You mean to get it registered as a political party?
Yes, Miss Minetti.
Well, the steps are not complex or difficult.
Everyone know the amount of things that man have to go through to register in the party.
Well, you know what?
And the PNP and the GLP, the policy where them have there. Them go on at the country and put them on, you know.
All right.
When
You know what I'm gonna do, African? I'm gonna list the steps that are required for political parties to be registered because they're not complex and is not too many.
You get it and make we hear.
I am gonna tell you what they are. I'm gonna tell you what they are. Yeah.
I hear Mr. Patterson talk about Taboo program. And the man I tell you where him have to go through to nominate the party. If you never know him, I do him wouldn't bother.
Well, you know, it is not like it should not be as simple as setting up a homeowners association, but it shouldn't be much harder than that because what you so I'm gonna tell you what the steps are. It's not difficult. I pull it up in a minute.
Get it, man, and look how them are dealing with this minute, man. The PNP and the GLP are the top squad of them there, you know. Them own up the whole of the land, them know, Miss Minetti, them and their friend them.
Well, I'm surprised that we haven't had a published analysis concerning land ownership for government, you know, MPs and political persons, because that is.
Yeah, them not going to start that, man. Them not going to start it, but we on the ground, we know we are going. Politician's son, me talk to politician's son, you know.
Yes.
And him son won over 2,000 acre land him get, you know.
Wow.
And like a son, you know, me not talk with the father yet,
Yes,
you know.
yes. Because sometimes you won't put it in your name because your name have to be. But no, the declarations that need to be filed require family members. Remember, Percy, you said you had to file, because of your wife's position.
Yeah.
So family members are supposed to, unless it is that people are lying, which is not unlikely. But if they are lying and we know things in the street, we need to bring it out there. Bring it out there with the proof.
Miss Minetti.
Yes.
Without land, you know, you can't develop.
I know that. Even with land, sometimes you can't move because you also then need access to capital to develop the land. But without land, your hope is even more remote.
No. If you have the land, you can't get some capital in Miss Minetti.
We know that.
Yeah, that is if the banks will let you in. It's a whole
thing,
you know.
No capital, nothing here in Miss Minetti. From 1962. From 1962, this is going on with the PNP and the GLP, you take over the slavery, you know.
That is true, African.
Right now, PNP, you know, it's a PNP and GLP whole reparation right now.
All right, listen, African, I have another caller on the line, and you've made your points, and I appreciate it. So let me take another call. Thank you, my brother. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
No.
Good morning. Welcome.
As we wait for the next caller to join us, what is fascinating is that if you go in the streets and talk to a lot of people,
good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning, beautiful lady. How are you today?
We are well, thank you. Thank you.
How are you today?
How is the great man doing today?
I'm wonderful.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Hope you're not calling me great man.
To all who listens, I will say have a wonderful, peaceful day and just spread love. All right. For what I was going to ask you was there's some houses that is being built. I think it's out on
Highway 2000. Yeah, I know where it is.
No, not Highway 2000. It's near. Oh Lord, it's in Portmore here though. And I understand it's 18 million for them, and it's the housing trust money is using to build those houses. Now, ordinary people will not be able to purchase those houses. So why housing trust money would be using for that? But I don't know how truthful this is. But maybe you could also find out if this is true and why people are called squatters and these money is used to build these type of houses that ordinary people cannot afford. Wonderful people who need it is not being sufficed with it.
Yeah. So regarding the use of housing trust money can be used to build houses for different levels of workers. It is not true that it is only reserved for let's say then low income housing. Most recently, and I'm just trying to find it because I was reading it on the weekend, the Prime Minister came out to say that the housing trust's focus had been reorganized to return them to a greater investment for low income housing. But remember now, all of us contribute to a housing trust when we are working. And so all of us, if we are contributors, are eligible to take from the fund. And so the fund will provide resources to developments at different points on the spectrum. The greater challenge, I think, is this now is not about borrowing money to buy a house. The greater challenge has to do with the provision of housing or land, the provision of land, for Jamaicans. Okay, I found it. NHT focused on affordable low-income solutions. The Prime Minister confirmed or said that Housing Trust has been restructured to focus on providing increased access to affordable and low-income housing solutions. And he was speaking on the occasion of a handing over of some new social housing program houses in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. So if you're watching the news, you'll see that there's more talk about these call it subsidized or free houses that are being put in place to capture or to provide housing for even some of the persons who they're calling squatters. There are no squatters in Jamaica. Jamaicans need to get that.
Well, I didn't know that there was a second person who said there was no squatters here because I thought I was the only person who said
there are no squatters in Jamaica. None.
No, there's no squatters here. Another thing I wanted to suggest is that our attitude to helping persons who are elderly and they have children, and these children do not look after the parents when they get older. I don't know if there's a thing on to encourage these people to look after the elderly who are their parents.
There's not. I guess it's a conscience thing.
The conscience.
It's a conscience. It goes back to conscience. You're saying putting something in
a
law,
moral imperative.
Yeah. You're saying we should put something in law that says that you must take care of elderly parents. True?
Yes, I believe that because some people are not doing that.
Well, they do have.
I don't say we have to make a law of it, but maybe there could be some encouragement going on, maybe on air and those kind of things, to help these people make a decision on that.
Yes. Well, I agree with you on that. We need to encourage and teach and help persons to even understand how they can do it despite some adverse circumstances. But there is already law that deals with dependency. If you were watching some months ago, the Minister of Health and Wellness announced that he was considering legal action against those who were able to take care of their elders but had left them in state care because the law provides for some recovery of the expense which the government incurs. I think Miss Malahoo Fort, in one of her not so very fine moments, had given some advice in that direction. So there is law that deals with it and that can fix the liability on those who are supposed to carry the cost of looking after their elders.
No, I didn't know that. Well, I don't have the time watching some of the news. I'm telling you, I'm so busy getting some Bible classes out and those kind of things. So I'm tied up with that. But I also would like to see. Well, I'm going to give you a little story. There's a man years ago who used to take people from the in the city who they call gunmen and take them to Cherry Garden and those kind of places and say, you see all these houses up here, these houses are built. You know how much time these people have to get a house like this up here? And he would take them back down, and these people would find themselves in employment. Some set up their little business and were working towards getting houses in Cherry Gardens. Because he said to me that when people are clustered together, they are like bottles. And you leave some bottles on the ground, leave it for 3 weeks and see when you go there what is there. And when I test it, there's a lot of corrosion there. So he was saying that the people are corroded when they stick together and fasten up like that in different areas. And people need to be stretched out so there are spaces around people, like what our ancestors was doing. And if people is given land that they can pay for and put them houses on it themselves, it would be better off. I don't know what you think on that. That's my final point.
Okay. Reasonable.
But
reasonable.
I like
because
to hear your opinion on it. So.
You see, if you have it's about vision. If you have a clear vision for where you want to go, that vision that you have will empower you, it will discipline with you, it will bring the resources. And I think that's what he was trying to do in those circumstances. Give them a vision for the future, something that they could work on, something that was attainable, and they went for it. Powerful tool that is used.
Oh. Okay, finally, have a good day. Stay nice and sweet and just spread love. I love you all. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Thank you. Good morning.
Political parties?
Yes. I just went to pull up the form to just speak a little bit about it. I'm looking to see how many persons you need to have as members before you do your registration, if there's a membership requirement. Good morning. Welcome to the morning connection. Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, sir.
You're on air. You came straight to us.
Listen to radio and
okay.
So you can turn it off now and listen, my brother.
He's stating the obvious.
I'm here. You know, so I listen to man program every man.
Yes,
There's no
sir.
man. It's like I'm a man. It's like I'm a morning coffee.
It's your coffee.
All right, sir. Hope it wakes
And
you
I
up.
tell you, so my time me frustrated. God no, because normally it's like Jamaica chase them tail every month. So Jamaican people are just sit down and make the system take advantage. I tell you, me listen to talk shows on June 9th.
Whose days?
June Hines.
June Hines.
Dear Lord, me not even know June Hines.
I knew her. Yeah,
yeah man, she's a black lady, nice black lady, man. She's a talk show.
Okay.
Back then, from them time, I listen to talk show, and me tell you, say, it's the same thing over and over again. It's like Jamaica. It's like a person have a soul food and he can't wear.
Yes, diabetes.
When I just think we might talk about the homeless. When I go down a town and see some people down here, when I see the condition. Because I didn't know a pastor from Upper Stone. Because I usually go to the clinic run Upper Stone Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a pastor there who was preaching. And one day I go after she to collect my salary from the boss on a Wednesday or Tuesday. Because you have to know to collect money nowadays. You have to know your surroundings. You have to use the brain. So I collect it on a Monday or Tuesday or something. And surprised when I look at the pastor, I see on the street now, homeless.
Wow.
And I said to myself, what's really going on?
How recent is that? How recent?
Just last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I went down there Sunday morning. And I see him around at the it was a weir in the park where you have the fountain.
Yeah.
There's like a seat right here where them sit down. And when I go over the machine, I draw was to give him $500. And ask him, how you reach, what really happened? Him start giving attitude. Because there and then he realized, I know me.
Yes.
So him saying, him behave like everything is fine, but I know that no fine.
Yeah.
And you know, say, I never give him the $500 based upon when him answer me.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, brother. If it's in your heart to do good, always do it. Now make the person turn you off from doing good. If you're sitting there to do good, do it. Go ahead.
And back to the land.
Mm.
People need land. You know, if the government was to give a person, an individual, even a square with a piece of with the flowers on it, you was so surprised 20 years, not even 20 years. 3 years or 4 years down the road, you were surprised
what they've done with it. Yes, that is true. In fact, as you spoke, I kind of just saw what it is that we need to do. We need to identify land all over the island, have it in a registry, have a simple process for persons to apply for land, and give them the ability to choose where they want to be. And there should be a minimum acreage that is available based on the size of your family. And you start there. The next step would be for you to qualify for some land improvement grant or loan, depending on how much, from the NHD. Just like that. Identify the areas, create the registry, say come and apply for it. Pick your spot where you want to go.
I see the system makes it hard for poor people because you see a lot of people where you up here like a lot of people up here like them because but the system and the thing with them have to go through. To really get certain things, it makes it hard for
it makes it difficult for you to regularize your situation and get into. That is true, but when we had JPS here on Thursday, they mentioned that they saw how difficult it was for persons who don't have a firm relationship with land to come on board as customers, and so they created a workaround. And will give, and it has helped a lot of people because we don't want to be living free, so to speak, and have people treating us in a desperate.
Jamaican people are cheesy people. We can't know that.
Yeah, well, you said the man needed $500 and he would have rather lose it by showing you attitude than so yeah, we have pride, we have dignity.
Here we have a lot of pride because here the government that talk about Jamaican don't want to work. Listen me. If you, like for instance, if a Jamaican was to go fine, you was to surprise the amount that job was over.
3-4 jobs. 3-4 jobs, it is something that the Americans joke about.
Because them see something at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
What am I work for?
Yeah.
Same time, it's the same thing like the teacher. I'm going to tell you, man, if this year, volunteer year and next year, a lot of teachers are going, a lot of nurses. Because me have 2 nieces right now down in public. We are nurse. And let me tell you, so my time my niece coming, me tell you, I can stress on her. God knows.
Okay. Yeah. And we don't want our relatives to die because of the stress. So it's better they get out. All right, we're at 9 o'clock. It's time for our break. So thank you so much for calling.
Have a nice day and keep up keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You have to specialize in
Thank
because normally you have a lot of good people around.
Thank you for the support.
Before I go away, you say, I hear that you shake the Prime Minister and don't
or rather, he shook my hand.
Don't make your head swell over that pain.
Oh, that would only be some kind of sickness. If that were to happen, it would mean him poison me.
All right, have a nice day.
You too, my brother.
Bless up.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
Hey! Best 100 FM and the SOS Children's Village of Stony Hill presents an auction and telethon on June 23rd, 2022. You don't want to miss the sweet deals on designer vintage items, appliances, art pieces, and more. Go to our Instagram page at SOSVillage_auction and bid on your favorite items. That's SOSVillage_auction. Place as many bids as you can until June 23rd, the day of the event. Call us on the day to make pledges and other donations. Entertainment by the Morning Connection team. All proceeds will go to the SOS Children's Village of Stony Hill.
Easy! Let not your hearts be troubled. Just believe in God Almighty and daily renew the mind. As we live in this time when fake is more valued than real, lies prefer the truth, the unnatural put above the natural. This is Lady Donna, aka Double D Don, with a new song, Almighty Jah, encouraging your people to keep the faith. God will make a way. Get your copy today. It's on all digital platforms. Lady Donna Official on Instagram, Facebook, AsujaRecords.com. For bookings, Asuja Record label at Gmail. Almighty Jah!
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866. We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best.
Good morning and welcome back to the Morning Connection. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. I have a little history
Yes.
to share about Goat Island recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Boat Island, that
Goat,
was in
goat.
Goat Island or Goat? Goat, okay.
Yeah, the Goat Island, yes. Off the coast of all over there, yeah. Do you remember when the PNP was in power when they said they wanted to develop a logistics hub with the Chinese?
Yes, I worked on it actually, so.
Yes. All right. The PNP wanted to give the Goat Island to the Chinese to develop a port.
No. The PNP wanted to develop Kemanas lands. One minister started to have a conversation about the location of the port.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Yeah. The Americans at the time they opposed the Chinese going to the Goat Island because what I read is that the Americans had a 100-year lease and one I think is Little Goat Island because you remember the Cold War era with Cuba?
Yes, it was meant to be a landing
base
right
on one of them.
Yes. But the environmentalists in Jamaica also made the point that any development on Goat Island would interfere with the ecosystem. It was a protected area.
Yes. So America had a 100-year lease at the time that was not expired.
Mm-hmm.
When the PNP lose the election and Andrew Holness become Prime Minister, something come on the news, but it missed a lot of people, but it didn't miss me. I saw some white people from either America, and Andrew gave them the go ahead to use Goat Island as a sanctuary for iguanas. It came in the news. It missed a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that I want to share that.
So are you thinking you think that's a good or a bad thing because it is meant to remain as a sanctuary? That was the environmentalist complaint.
Yeah, but it's a bad thing because we don't eat iguanas here in Jamaica. Why would you want to use iguana? Iguana in Cayman. We don't eat lizard here.
So we should only create a sanctuary for the animals that we eat?
Yeah, like fish. It should be a fish sanctuary then. right? Not iguana.
All right, I
So,
don't agree with you on that, but I take your point. I do not
yes, so
agree that our obligation to protecting our environment is limited to providing places for the animals that we eat, because we eat them off anyway.
yeah.
There's not even one lionfish here, and the lionfish thought that this was a sanctuary.
And then we say, oh, but
I'm
they're
joking. I'm sure
delicious.
there are one or two still hiding
Yeah,
out.
it's used as a land grab. You know that one of them beach in Saint Catherine where guardsmen take over and they have been using that area to raise crocodile. You know that they use crocodile to grab land. In Africa they use animal sanctuary to grab a lot of land.
Yes, and let me tell you, one of the things you will come to recognize and accept is that the sanctuary that you declare in this generation becomes the resort in the next generation. And
Yes,
it's a
yes.
continuing thing. Yes,
Yes.
you one generation take it and say it will be a park and a reserve, and then 10 years
Next
later, when the
generation
people
come
who
and say,
forget about it, those who were living and remember it have now died, it becomes something else. And that's just one of the things that we can't change, because we cannot rule from the grave. And that is something that I guess the people who revere Mr. Seaga so much are grappling with, that they're trying to do so much in his name right
everything
now.
near more.
But the truth is, everything is for a time. When you take over, you're going to do what you want to. And those who dead and gone cannot change it.
And that is
Yes. So Goat Island will become the people who are having now as a sanctuary for iguana. They will become owners for Goat Island in the years to come.
It might become a resort.
A resort, yes.
Yes, so it is. All right, my brother. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Welcome to the Morning Connection.
As he commented on that,
Yes.
it's like the children of Israel. When Moses and died and Joshua died, the people did not remember what God had done.
Mm-hmm. True.
And so it is so important, even in terms of governance, that you embed in the psyche of the people what you did. And then if when you were doing it, you brought the people into the conversation.
There would always be somebody living at some point who remembers
which
and
is-
who will give honor to it. He made me think of two things that we need to do. One, we need to record our history and keep a record of what we're doing and why. And the second is teach the next generation what we
Deuteronomy
do,
6,
why we
8.
do it, so they know. And when they are making decisions, they make it with knowledge. Sometimes, like you spoke about that swampland that became a housing development. So you may still persist and make it into a housing development, but you would know that you have to make provisions for the
that.
water.
Amen.
Yes. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Okay, we're waiting on that one to materialize. But that is a really important principle. Right now, some of the struggles we have dealing with what's happening to our children
short memory.
is because we as elders
Never
or
pass
we
it on
as
to them.
those with the knowledge did not pass on the information. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, people of Jamaica.
Hey, beautiful lady, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. I am calling on the concern about the land issue, as usual.
Yeah.
The land grab?
There's some of our parents or third parents gone. Like I had family members who was in the war and in both in the army and the police force who just got a piece of land for themselves to retire on. But when they die, the government take back the land.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
In Jamaica here?
I wish my mom could be reasoning because, like I said to you, she's got Alzheimer's. So I used to get all the other information from her and record them.
So that would mean that it was a lease or maybe it was a life interest.
No, it wasn't a lease. It was their kind of pay for their service.
But on the lease, you would pay too.
One of my uncles came back with one leg from the war.
Yes.
Right? And so that was what he got, a piece of land what he could call his own. Anyway, the mainland situation now, which I find is totally disgusting, calling our nation squatters. You can't squat on your own land. The land belongs to the people of the country. How can they be squatters? And if our people only wake up now, if they don't wake up now, I don't know if it's going to happen. You are not a PMP or a JLP. You're a human being. You're a Jamaican, a creation from the Creator Almighty. No party owns you. No company owns you. You are a person in your own right. And it's because a lot of our people didn't really understand what it means to be calling yourself a starch PMP or a starch JLP. A mere PMP or JLP outright. No, you're a person. And it's because you call yourself that why you're being treated as if you belong to the parties and they treat you like they're objects.
Yep.
What say you?
No, I agree with you. And even when people call and say PNP and JLP done with that, we are talking about each other. So, creating that distance and buying into that narrative that the PNP and the JLP exist somewhere outside of us is just perpetuating the confusion. We insist here that you have to recognize the thing for what it is, call it by its name, and address it frontally. As long as you are taking some kind of evasive, delusional approach, you're never going to get to the place of truth, which is why since the 60s, we are right here where we were on the day the Queen says, take them off of the budget and let them do their own thing. I see Ronnie Thwaite saying he can't bear to sing anymore. Long may she reign over us. Because after 60 years, her reign really should be at an end. So
after 60 years shouldn't have come.
Yeah, it shouldn't be as many as that.
We have people, your people who grew up in England, right?
Yeah.
And born there, grow there, have their children, their family there, and been there like from they were very young and didn't understand politics. And as they grow up, I'm beginning to get on the cultural side of things. Due to racism, you have to find your own battle together and stand up together. And this is why you have more cultural centers and black things going on in UK than you have it in Jamaica.
And you mentioned the key word, unity.
Right.
So as long as we are saying PNP versus JLP, we're not unified.
No.
So that's to the point you're making.
It's the people of Jamaica against the racist prejudice regime that has been acting all this time, and some of us are so blind that we don't see it. Even when I grew up over there, I don't celebrate Jubilee. I don't celebrate anything to do with the Queen. I never did.
Yeah.
You know, and there's many like myself who probably move on to US and different places will still be there. But I can tell you, we're not into this business looking for nothing. What is there?
Let me ask you a question before you go, Rachel, because given your UK history, there's a new visa scheme which does not accord any rights to university graduates from Africa and the Caribbean. Are you aware of it and what you think about it? Is it fair? Is it within their rights to disparage or to selectively exclude us?
It's not fair. It's not fair at all. And if I was there, you'd probably read about me.
Oh.
It's not fair. And you know why I said that? A lot of Caribbean cultural studies that has taken place, it always costs more than ordinary citizens over there already anyway, right? And I think what the so-called governed people supposed to be doing now is see to it that Jamaican people get treated right at home and abroad.
Mm-hmm.
because they too are going to have another generation coming up. Not unless they're under some kind of science or Illuminati or the lodge or whoever. I can't understand why we're even talking about independent. Jamaica is not independent. So the money spent on doing those things, Minette and Percy, supposed to be spending now on the less fortunate.
Agreed, my dear. All right, we have another caller on hold, so yes, well, let's like to take another call. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Pastor, I'm not hearing you.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Not bad. The first thing I have to talk about, I have about 2 stuff. I have about 20 stuff, but I can't remember them sometimes.
You need to remember to write them down, man.
It's going towards both of you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a prep school down here that my son goes to.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to his sport day. I think it was Friday. Now, what do you think about this thing that the kids dance and shake all kind of stuff and wind up? What do they call it again?
You mean you're talking about what them call the dance again, the children?
American do it, man. And them start.
You mean cheerleading? You mean cheerleading?
Cheerleading.
Oh!
Just a minute. What do you think about cheerleading?
It's an expression of the children creativity in another form.
Look, I believe, especially that school, they operate more on the Christian side. Everything you see on their YouTube thing, it's all about prayer and Christianity and stuff like that.
So you say it's not acceptable.
I think cheerleading is a satanic thing, and you're teaching your kids to go do something else. You know.
All right. Well,
I don't. Different levels of cheerleading, actually, but anyway.
So, are you talking about cheerleading or the movements associated with cheerleading? Because cheerleading, lending support through vocal encouragement and using music and movement to keep your team motivated, and not just the team but the spectators. That as an activity, I don't see anything demonic or unspiritual about it.
Or is it dance?
Is that what is it the movements, like as you said, the wind up?
Yes, and I saw some little girls on the ground like they're doing some winding up like missionary position and bucking and all kind of stuff. I don't think that's
all right.
appropriate.
So when it comes to movements and how people express dance or whatever it is, there is a level of kind of sexualized treatment that can infiltrate the music, just like how conversations can descend into the use of words that are not appropriate or uplifting. So too, body movements can move in the same direction. But I don't think the movement in and of itself is the problem. It's what you're teaching the children, what they're relating it to, what they're seeing around them. So it's all contextual. I see some dance moves coming out of every different part of the world that in Jamaica, one would say it is
normal,
not abnormal, but it easily becomes sexualized. But the people are dancing and they're moving, and there is nothing in the context where it is offered that would cause you to think in that vein. But something, my brother, a lot of our dance moves end up being disparaged because we start to think that reggae music and dub and so on, that these are all simulation of sexual congress. And anywhere we see it, we carry that interpretation of it, when it is nothing more than the body moving in ways that the body can move, and the dancer to the dancer in some context, that's not what it is. We tend to think that every movement is go-go dancing. And I'm not taking away from it that yes, the context in which it is done and the age of the children and so on are all things that one has to bear in mind. I wouldn't want to see my little girl dancing in a certain way at a certain age, because she wouldn't even understand that somebody watching her can take it in a way
Another
that's
context.
harmful
To
to
her.
her.
That's what you're raising the question about, right, my friend?
Yes, that's
Okay, now.
what I'm raising.
Yeah.
What I saw them doing, I don't think it's appropriate
For the age
you know,
and the,
especially chanting about Christianity at the school. You should, cause those people will not go to a dance. Most of who are at school.
Not going to
They
dance.
will not go to a dance. They will not go certain place.
So you
But they
think
have the
maybe
kids
they've allowed the
doing-
children to develop something that they don't even know that it is coming out of the world? You think they don't know what
Right.
the dance portrays? Then the
Some
parents
of the
should
kids
tell
don't
them.
know.
Well, the children are usually the innocent ones. Them just do what
Yeah.
them see other people do.
True.
Or what they're taught. They don't even know that to somebody looking on it means something else. Which is
And
why
they
we
got-
have to be careful with them even when they go into online places and they watch dance videos and they see different
Tell me
things
about
that
it. That becomes a major
that look
thing.
cute
Look,
and yeah.
my son goes to that school and he came here. I think it was one day last week. Told me that he saw two girls kissing at the school.
Okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's and I agree with you because what has happened with the explosion in the use of media, social media, our kids are exposed to a lot of things in TikTok and those things, which is not
Yes,
appropriate and
and
acceptable.
on YouTube, anybody goes on
Everybody,
YouTube, you see
right,
two
and
girls
they can-
kissing.
Yeah, but see,
Just like that.
So that's you as parents.
that's parents now
that's
giving
parenting.
supervision and making sure that it's so funny, you raise that issue and online someone is asking a question about politics in certain spheres of influence in the society like churches and schools. So you have to get into your school and make a comment about what you see and how you feel about it so that the teachers can be brought into line and the students
They
can
understand. That's
yeah,
not
they have to
acceptable
understand
for
that
you
it's
as
not
parents.
acceptable.
That's where viable PTAs come
in. Yeah.
You know.
Did you know why they do it? They get points for their house.
You know, we understand that, but you can't get points for your house without being lewd and
Yeah,
so on. In
being
terms
that you can just clap and sing and jump up. You don't have to have kids whining on the ground like some
like worms. Like worms? I think you want to say so. Anyway, what's your other point, my brother?
The next point.
My other point is about Skengdan. I heard you talking about Skengdan.
Yes.
All my life I heard of him as a big Don, but I never heard of him being a wicked Don. There was a thing on YouTube with him. I think it was last year, early this year. They were talking how come he survived out of all the Dons. Most of the Dons died, but King Don survived. How he did it, and they talk about how he did it. So he was not that.
He was not a criminal
person, I think.
He was not a criminal, Don.
Maybe he does a little stuff like that, but not like the rest, I guess.
Okay.
Or he was just lucky.
Because
I don't
Pastor
know.
Percival and I, at least I led into the conversation that King David operated pretty much like a Don when he was in the wilderness with his gang of 400 men. I don't think Jamaica has seen a gang of that size.
No. It's not only King David. Jesus was a Don.
Yeah, well, he only had 12 men.
Yeah. But he was the one that went and mashed up that gambling table. Only a Don could do that.
All right, good. So we're in the same vein. And what we're talking about are persons who rise to positions of influence in their communities, such that persons respected them and they were able to even start a mission like, Christ started a mission.
That changed the world.
That changed the world. And we were saying some of these persons that the political system in Jamaica or law enforcement in Jamaica start to call them dons, like how we are called people squatters. When you look at their life and the contribution that they make, it really is not a true designation. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And you're saying that what you have heard of Mr. Black is that he is a good person, or you say he's a good don.
Yeah, he's a good Don.
All right. Thank you very much for that.
All right.
No. One
you have
more
more.
thing.
Go ahead.
Shot.
Go ahead.
Always this squatting thing and this land grabbing.
Yes.
We have to do something about it.
I agree.
Calling the people squatters and this land grabbing. We only talk. We can't just get up and talk. We have to stop this land grabbing.
Well,
It's a serious thing.
yeah, when you say land grabbing, how to stop that is something that requires a lot of planning and effort, because if the government is land grabbing as an activity is wrong, but if the government is in the process of distributing land or taking certain steps in relation to land, persons who are concerned that it might be abused to become land grabbing need to take the right steps of intervention in the areas that they see it happening. What that is anybody's guess until you get on the ground and look at what is really happening. So if you know that there's some acreage and you see moves being taken in relation to it, then it's either the whistleblowing, or you have to get to someone who can join you in resisting it so that something concrete can be done. And I'm speaking in kind of vague language because that's what it calls for on a subject like that. Like my brethren who call and say him know a politician's son alone have 2,000 acre land and them never have that when them enter politics. If you know that that is so, you have got to, now we in the world of like espionage, and you might have to record something, take something, and then you need to, whether it's a journalist or it is the ombudsman or the integrity commission, but somewhere you have to put that information and then get it into the public domain so it can be properly investigated.
Have another call online? Thank you.
All right then. All right.
Good. Morning, caller. Go ahead. Morning. Hi, Mary.
Lawrence, Pastor Palmer. How are you all?
We're good, Mary. How are you today?
Good morning.
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Excellent.
Times such as this. Morning to your producer, Mr. Lovell. Anyway, what I call about to say.
Mr. Lovell.
Yes. Is a very, very nice, decent man.
Mr. who?
Skinned on black.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He's a very nice man. I heard about him for many, many years, and then I had the opportunity to meet him when I did some work with some international agency. And we met. I didn't even know he knew who I was. And when some article came out, the 2012, I was surprised that he called me.
Oh.
Very early and said, they don't leave you alone, Very, very nice man, decent man. Most of us go around and scandalize people and they don't know people. Another thing, June Hines.
Yes.
She's a black woman. She was born in England. As a matter of fact, she's my cousin. She's June Hines.
So where is she now?
I think she's in Jamaica, but when she came back from England, she had a employment agency by Granspend there. She and another lady, Miss Douglas, and then she went on radio. She was on radio for many years. I don't know how you do her.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
I knew of her.
I'm not as knowledgeable on those matters. But if you're in touch with her, please, I would love to speak with her.
Just finish what I'm saying. I don't want to lose my thought because
Go ahead.
I'm very tired. She got married in England at age 17. Her husband was a lawyer, black man. They came back to Jamaica. And after she's a lawyer too, and she was in Ronitwaite's office for a number of years. But her husband died maybe about 2 years ago. And she might be going back to England. The last time I saw her, it's like she was lost. You can imagine being married to a man from your 17 and he passed. So she might go back to England where she was born. She has 2 children, a boy and a girl. I think the boy is out here and the girl is in London. She's a journalist. So that is that. I just want to greet Rusty and Raspal. Anyway, blessings and always be encouraged. Mrs. Lawrence, what happened to the Haiti project?
Oh, I'm waiting to get the green light to go to Haiti. Everything else is good on our side, including gifts. I have a room with gifts for Haiti. But because of that unfortunate high incidence of kidnapping and so on, I am ready to go, but I'd be alone. We're still going, though. because I actually made a contact with
Somebody.
someone there who would receive us. It will still happen, Mary.
But run into it. Very nice man too, but he has been in politics for 40 years. And look at Central Kingston.
There you go. That's what I was saying to Pastor Percival too.
I don't bother with these two parties. They're a set of bandits, as I said before, and jagabas.
Yes, you taught me that word. All right, Mary, have a great day. We're gonna take our break now. It's past 9:30.
I can't speak any longer. I have things to do too.
All right, my dear. Blessings.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
This is your beloved Pastor Percy from the Morning Connection. Support our commitment to Jamaica by joining us on Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when we pray for the nation. Show us you care. Advertise with us. For more information, call our offices at 876-276-8935.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best FM.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Morning.
Good morning.
What you all doing?
Hey, we're good, Rusty.
Rusty, somebody eel you up this morning. You get it?
You know, Mr. Soon, man, I say you're up, Rusty. Why, I will miss you all doing, you remember my name?
No, me pick up your voice from a couple of words. I have that special gift of picking up.
Yeah, man. Big up Miss Sam.
Miss Mary.
Mary.
Miss, eh?
It was Mary.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Big up Miss Mary, man. Big up Miss Mary, you know. I agree with him, say, these two parties. Although I was from one of the party, but I agree with her, say, these two parties, now I'm going with none. I agree with her. None of them.
Okay.
Neither the PMP nor the JP, especially present set up present crap of PMP where we have there right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, all they're doing is spending time fighting them one another who want to get this a position for who want to hold the position. The PMP and the JP redundant, you know. A two redundant party, they don't have anything to offer Jamaica again. And we was from one of them, you know, but they take a different stand now.
All right. Now, that is the important declaration of the morning, because to African, I was saying, we are the ones who we vote them in, we vote out one, we put in the other one. And when we don't like what we're seeing, we no bother vote. Instead of putting our support behind something that we can work with, or changing the thing that is in front of us since other good people now want to step forward.
Because presently, you know,
yes,
the present PMP where you see there, you know, it have nothing to offer, you know. So all is waiting on. He's waiting for the JLP to make mistake.
Yes.
That he can profit after that.
Yeah, because we are in that whole habitual thing of saying one or the other, like we don't have no other options in the world.
Like we are idiot no more.
Yeah.
We take out the PMP, we take out the JLP and put in the PMP, and the PMP stay there. All the JLP have to do, you know. You just sit down and wait for the PMP to make a mistake. Which
Yes.
then
It will happen.
Do, you know.
It will happen. Yep.
And then when the JLP in a power, the PMP, it's like how the JLP are going on now. The PMP glad, you know. The benefit of fight, you know.
That's why the lady said that this competitive politics thing is not the lady. It was a gentleman who said the competitive politics not working because one just wait until the other one fail to step in and
that's how it go for 1962.
That's how it has been. I promised a caller, and I don't know if you have had chance to even consider it, that I would look at what is needed for a new party to form. A lot of countries have more than 2 parties, more than 3, more than 4. Like South Africa have one whole heap. You need to have a constitution, and your constitution need to set out certain things. The steepest thing I saw, Rusty, is that you need 500 electors. That's the steepest thing I saw.
And then to Mr. Pattis now.
Yes.
You know, see Mr. Pattis have not for there, you know, ma'am. You know, see him have nothing concrete when come at it. All him a say, he might go do this and might go do that, but he not tell me how he might go do it. That is why we want to hear the how. We don't want to hear say you go do this and you go do that. We want to hear how you going to do it, that you can make up your mind if it will work.
Because, you know, the thing about a new party is that party gets held to a higher standard than the other two. Because the failures of the other two makes it more important that you choose well when you choose something else. So he needs a lot more time.
No, the same thing where the PMP and the JLP talked about. It's the same thing Mr. Pattis is saying. We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear say you go do this or you go do this when you come in. We want to hear how you're going to do it.
Yeah, but
where you going to get the resources from, where the resources then come from to do it.
Rusty.
No, that's true.
Sir.
That's true. That's true. But here's the.
You know why you say when we win, we have to put in this and we have to put in that. We want to hear how you get put it in. Where the resources then come from. We want to see the plan, you know.
Yeah, but Rusty, that's a very important question. But guess one of the things that happens? Some of the information that you need, you now go get it when you're outside there, you know. You might look at it and it is presented to you. When you go in, you find out about, they never tell about this, that. Not true what I talk about. That's a reality. So you have them, and I've asked him the question. Some of the thing he wants to do, my question has been, how, sir, are you gonna get it done with the present reality that people are facing?
Yes, sir, that's what I want to hear, sir. How you going to get it done? How you going to get the resources? Where you get mobilize the resources from to do what you say you have to do? We don't want to hear say you have to do this and we know you have to do it, you know.
True.
And the next thing before I go.
Yes.
This Commonwealth Secretary of Business we're going on now.
Yes.
Is who paying for it, ma'am?
Listen, man, that is the question that we are entitled to get an answer to. Says everybody, but the lady has not spoken.
Somebody need to come and answer. Somebody need to come and answer, you know, and tell us how much it costs, you know, so that if
we are the ones paying for it.
How much it costs us, you know.
And if we are not the ones paying for it, I have no doubt that everybody else in the Commonwealth Secretariat want to know who's paying for it and why. If it is privately funded, what does it all mean? The lady should come out and speak. Nobody else should speak but Miss Johnson.
We need to know who's going to pay for it and what you get and the benefit where you get for it, you know,
yes. If the citizens,
these things need to print out, you know, in some pamphlet, you know, and distribute to the people of Jamaica. If we throw them on the street, you know, we pick them up, you know.
That is true. No, Rusty, you're right.
We pick them up.
You're right. The Gleaner said them ask. Lots of people have been asking for more than a week now. So more than 2 weeks now. She's doing some big spending because it's not cheap for Africa and to be going around.
No.
So
it's not cheap at all.
And
it's not Africa. And it's not Africa alone she's traveling. She's traveling to other places.
She's traveling to other places.
So much money it costs.
Well, for example, we had the Indian president come here. That's part of the campaign. That we know that cost us. And it confusing people downtown on Tower Street who know.
You can't pronounce a man name.
You can't.
And the man from Rwanda.
And Rwanda came here. That's part of the campaign too. In case they think we don't know.
So who's paying for it, ma'am? We need to know, ma'am.
Yes, we should know. And we should know.
We don't put a government in power to silent and do whatsoever it want to do. And we don't know what we want. And
absolutely.
we vote it in. We are going to vote it out back,
Roasted.
No prime minister, no government in a power, and we put them there.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we hearing you, Rusty. We hearing you, Rusty.
We put them there if we don't get justice, but I feel some more crown this time and come buy no vote or come take with food or come buy no vote and keep we hungry. Like what we are suffering now. That when election then here, they run out and you see them start buy vote left, right and center. Now go work this time alone.
They're on the campaign trail and they're being a little more subtle this time. They might give house.
You left Westmoreland and go open up a one house.
Yes,
that's just giving a house.
Yes, they might give house. They might creating the expectation. They talk about what 70,000 houses are to be built.
That's what
they are. We have 70,000 houses.
No, well, me just I tell you that is the announcement. So somebody who hear that now feels that them could be in the 70,000.
Are they started yet, ma'am, to build?
Well,
you see a lot of social house. There was this with the lady in St. Elizabeth, social house.
Yes, yeah. So that's what that is the carrot now that is being dangled, that you have the possibility of being a part of the 70 houses.
But you left for Westmoreland, you left for we are Kingston, Ghana, Westmoreland. See a prime minister left for we are Kingston, come Mandeville, come give you one house.
Yeah.
With that big entourage. How much money it costs us with that entourage from Kingston to come down here? Come give you one house.
All right, you're asking the right questions. I hope people who are concerned about it or who not sure are listening and can apply the same level of inquiry.
And the journalists in this country, ma'am, not reporting to us and tell us what is going on, ma'am. They're hiding things from us. It seems like them and the politician gone to bed. What happened to journalism in the country?
You're asking the wrong journalist.
You have to be a journalist.
Because I say and speak opinion and truth as I hear it and as I know it. Others may say the same, but we're doing our part.
Part of the world journalism fraternity is corrupt.
Wow.
Most of them is in the journal thing is corrupt, ma'am. It's pure corruption to get in from the journalists and the government. Everything is gone corrupt in this country.
Let's bring it back, Rusty. Let us bring it back, one vote at a time.
We have a young prime minister without no vision. When you ever seen come pan here and announce nothing substantial, ma'am? You ever seen come announce a massive project or anything?
You mean that, yeah.
No vision at all.
Well, they got so many things to complete from the outgoing government that they've not been under pressure.
Man. Look here. It's the PMP manifesto this government is using.
Yes, that's what
somebody has connected.
Yeah,
this government abandoned their manifesto because there was nothing in it. So they're using the PMP manifesto. They're not going to get away with it, because I am here,
Then there is justice in it. There is still justice in it.
They're going to talk up the things as how we see it,
That's a start. That's a good start.
Yes.
Speak truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks, Rusty.
Thank you all very much.
All right, and Rusty. Yes. Bless you.
Good morning. Sir. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Listening to Rusty, I lose my train of thought. But,
Rusty threw you off.
But he But he hit a lot of points which are, very relevant.
Yep.
But I want to ask a question, you see, because I'm at the risk of being skewed, because a lot of people, I'm very political. I want to ask a question. Right?
Yes.
Is it the politics that is a problem, or is it the politicians that are elected? What do you think? Because there's politics in all spheres of influence in a society,
That's true.
Because within church, school, whatever, there is politics. So I would say that it's the politicians. There's a favorite quote that I love to use. It says that a politician only thinks about the next election, while a statesman thinks about the next generation, right? And I can honestly say that in the 70s, it was like... I'm going to use a word, maybe I'm blaspheming. There was a spiritual, re-engineering. Let me talk about the spiritual. There was a re-engineering of the society that has now propelled a lot of people to the positions that they achieved in life. So they could probably set it for their next generation.
But that's true.
All right. I'm going to say something to you, Marie.
Yeah.
I think we have bad politics. We ask, is it the politics or the politician? We have bad politics. Yes, there's politics in everything because it is merely the process by which people organize things that govern their interactions. So at that level, there's politics in everything. But you have good politics and you have bad politics. Just like how you have good food and you have bad food. Some things are just bad for you, but you might still think you're eating. You do have bad politicians also, but the truth is, politics is about people, so you cannot ever say it is really the people. You're going to have people all the time. It's not like we can substitute the people for computers or with animals. So if you have bad politics, you will never be able to weed out the behaviors and the individuals that make the thing unworkable. You should have a system, and politics is process and system. You should have a process and a system that allows you to get the best, train the best, keep the best, and deal with the ones that are falling afoul of your system. We don't have our politics not like that. We have an ombudsman. What does the ombudswoman do? By the way, I want to speak to her because she has written a civics handbook.
Okay.
You have people and positions that you create, but they are not effective in bringing improvement to the system.
Because of
so
the politics.
When I think deeply about what you're saying, we have bad politics.
And let me Wilson, we were just talking in the break about what's happening in England. And that's instructive with the visa something too, but instructive in terms of you might in the next couple of days or weeks have a no confidence vote in the House of Commons because them saying no, you can't set law, and then you contribute and float the law
and stay in position.
And stay in position. Them saying no, and some people have resigned as a result.
Yes.
Because of their conscience. They say, no,
the commoners in England are not putting it down.
Yes.
It's the House of Commons where it's happening.
And because of the polarization in Jamaica, right? I'm a polarized person too. Make me put the beam out of my eye first.
You're a diehard something.
Yes, I am. We would never see that happening in Jamaica. But my dieheartedness has come from the fact that politics is not about the individual benefit that somebody, might or will get. I think it should be geared towards the re-engineering, like I used that word before.
Yes,
of the society,
yeah.
That will benefit the people.
So, all right, let me ask you a question before the production team packing up and said they're going to leave us because we are at the point where we normally stop taking calls. But I have to ask you this. As a die-hearted whatever, do you have influence on your party?
No, my only influence is going to the ballot box.
Oh, Lord.
That's the only influence
well,
I
you
have.
see now, my form of die-heartedness can't flow like that. Because if me not have influence, then you can't have my dying loyalty or my undying. You'll get my dying loyalty,
real quickly,
Yes.
right? Apart from coming out of a household for my die-heartedness, right?
Yes.
When I became of age for my politics, and I'm re-examining the fact, I see where, I benefited from education, and I benefited from housing.
But don't you want your children and your other generations to benefit too?
That must say, because
but
look,
if
now,
this
with
crop
benefiting from education, maybe I was able to set it for my offspring, because there's a difference between poor and poverty. You understand me?
but
So
don't you want, if you don't see a crop of politicians at bat who are proposing or continuing the same policies that gave you that benefit, because your family might be setting up, but your neighbor family not set, and somebody else who never come out of your lineage not set. Don't you want to see leadership that will carry those policies into the future?
That's true.
So for that, no, they would lose my support.
That is why I go back to say that the statesman will think about the next generation.
Right.
But the politician only ever go after the election.
Next election.
And the re-engineering that took place in the 70s, it propelled a lot of us. Because of a mandate that was done to education, I was able to go to Wilmer's High School for girls. One more down for public walk and people over the campus. Housing is another thing, which is threatened right now. But we have to talk another time.
All right, my dear. Thank you so much. Yes.
All right.
They have thrown us off the air. All right. Thanks to the callers and the many listeners and those online who have supported the discussion this morning. We value your contribution, and we see that as days go by, persons are moving to a closer understanding and a bigger commitment to fight for the change that is necessary to bring about the social reengineering that our system has just talked about. And thank you to the staff in the house, although I'm not threatening to throw us off.
That's all right. But we know what our purpose is. And that's what
Engineer, producer, Eden, thank you all very much. And Pastor Percival, thank you so much, especially for those bracing words of comment, of encouragement that you made earlier for yours truly. Have a great day, everyone.